Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Illegal Pancakes podcast.
The only podcast on the internet that is called the Illegal Podcast, except that's not the name, but that's what we call it today.
Yeah, great save, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, you knew I was not going anywhere with that. All right, so we're kind of following up on a topic from one of our last podcasts, CBS's Clarice. I unfortunately decided to sign up for the trial to CBS All Access so I could watch it. And
Can I just ask, what does CBS All Access even have? Like, it's just one of those streaming services that I know exists, but I don't know why you're supposed to get it.
It has way more crap than I thought it would. Like, it has a bunch of Paramount stuff, so, like, anything Nickelodeon.
Oh, wow.
There's another really random network that's attached to it as well. I forget which one, but anything like Viacom. They get sports somehow, but that might just be through CBS.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I signed up for like a week trial for that, and unfortunately I forgot to cancel it. So I got charged $6, but I don't know, I guess that's on me for being an idiot. But so I watched the premiere to Clarice. And yeah.
All right, out of let me think. Without spoiling anything, what would you rank it out of creepy? What's that old dude's name? Creepy. Who's the guy that plays as Hannibal Lecter? That's not Matt Mickelson. Yeah, Anthony Hopkins. What would you rank it out of creepy Anthony Hopkins smiles?
I give it like a 2. 2 out of 5.
Okay, everybody, buckle in. We got a 2 out of 5. Here we go. All right, Connor. I want to know what happened in this show. What is the story? Is this a sequel to the old Silence of the Lamb, or is this like a new universe, or what?
All right, so I don't really want to like do a full like plot detail to it, because like really the worst thing I can say about like at least what I saw in the premiere was that this show is just really freaking boring.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
I forget if it was a normal length or if it was like 41 minutes or whatever the approximation of an hour is for TV. But yeah, it just went on, and I just did not care what was happening. So yeah, I guess the basic premise, we kind of covered this in our last podcast. It's set 1 year after the film Silence of the Lambs, where Clarice Starling is getting back into the field. She's working with the FBI still, but one of the characters from the film, I guess book as well, I think her name's Catherine Martin. She is now the secretary of, or no, she's the Attorney General, I think, of the United States, and she set up this like serial killer catching squad or whatever, and she wants Clarice on it because I guess this isn't really a spoiler to the movie, but her daughter was one of the victims of the serial killer, or one of the attempted victims of the serial killer Buffalo Bill in the film, and Clarice saved her by.
And then I haven't seen the movie or read the book, but from what I know, Clarice works with Anthony Hopkins, aka Hannibal Lecter, and it's about them like kind of like working together to take down Buffalo Bill, right?
Right. So yeah, he's kind of assisting her, giving her like a bit of a psychological profile, because he was one of his ex-patients when he was a psychiatrist before he got captured.
Yeah.
So, getting back to that. So, another person on the team is this minor character from the film. I don't know if he plays a bigger role in the book, but he's called Paul Krenler. He's another FBI person. And he's kind of like, he's playing the role of like this hard ass, like giving her a bunch of crap and stuff. Because what's happening is there are these bodies that they've been finding that, you know, just everybody's like, oh, there's a new serial killer. 'Cause, they got like weird wounds and whatever, like bite marks and stuff like that. And she's like, nah, it doesn't look like it. It doesn't seem like a serial killer. And crap. So I guess to boil it all down to like, I guess kind of spoil what does end up happening or how the episode concludes. So I know, Rob, you were saying...
Let me guess. It turns out the serial killer they're after is Hannibal Lecter.
We're going to get into that, but no.
Oh, okay.
So,
no?
You know how you were apostasizing? You were like saying, oh, this is just going to be another generic police procedural like NCIS or CSI or whatever. It's kind of worse than that because...
Wait, what?
Yeah, so what happens is the ending of the premiere pretty much sets up a corporate conspiracy. It turns out it's not. Yeah, it turns out it's not actually a serial killer, but it's like a hired hitman made to look like it's a serial killer going after all these women who are tied to some like pharmaceutical trial or whatever, like test trial.
Yeah. And is it like created in order to keep the serial killer squad in business because they don't have anyone to hunt down or something?
I don't know about that, but they're like trying to like really push hard. It's like, oh yeah, it's a serial killer. Because I don't know why. I forget the reasoning behind that. Because either way, it's like, you might think it's like, oh, that's just going to help people keep their mind at ease. But I don't know. It's like, I'd worry just as much about, a corporation hiring a hitman to go around killing, people as much as I would a, serial killer on the loose. Like, serial killer on the loose would be even worse.
Yeah, that's true.
But,
the serial killers just kill random people.
Yeah. So that's what ends up happening with that. I think that is a really terrible route to go with.
A sequel to Silence of the Lamb?
A sequel to Silence of the Lambs, like...
Now, so I'm clear here. Silence of the Lamb was originally a book, right?
Right.
And was there ever like any sequels written to the book or anything, or is it just a book?
Yeah, so confusingly, there was a sequel to it called Hannibal. Not to be confused with the TV show, which I have also talked about, which is based on the prequel to Silence of the Lambs called Red Dragon, which also has its own movie. Actually, has two movies. One called Red Dragon, and then another called Manhunter. So yes, there is a direct sequel to Silence of the Lambs in the form of a film and a book.
Does this show isn't following any of that, I assume, right?
No, it takes place way before it.
Okay.
I want to say.
Okay.
Because I think
it's not like they didn't have source material they could have adapted from. They just wanted to do this story of a hitman who pretends to be a serial killer.
Right. So, yeah. It's like I think they wanted to do their own original thing. I don't know if they're going to try to tie it into the film or to the book sequel. But yeah, I really don't know. But yeah, so like, and then at the end of the episode, the daughter who she saved, like, I think she like gets tricked into calling her because someone leaves a message and she thinks it was the mother, like the attorney general, but it turns out it was her daughter. Like, it's like, why won't you talk to me? And like, I don't know.
Just typical TV drama stuff.
Yeah, so they're trying to create drama with
I feel bad saying PTSD is just TV drama, but like, I don't know. It's just such a cliche at this point.
Yeah. So we're going to get into that too a little bit. So let's just go, I'm going to get a little bit more general. So that's like the plot overview. So you got, an assumed serial killer, which turns out to be a corporate conspiracy. They do catch the guy at the end, by the way.
Oh, what?
That's so lame. There probably will be more to it. but I don't know because I don't really want to watch the follow-ups. So yeah, you got a corporate conspiracy, you got a distressed like main character, you got a hard-ass superior officer, I guess, and then drama, like you said. So it's kind of cliche.
It's a show that's gonna get hidden very easily. Like, like it's just gonna get it's gonna be forgotten pretty fast.
Yeah.
So I guess my next question is: at least the casting good? Like, do the characters look like their movie counterparts at all? Like,
so here's the weird thing. So the actress that's playing Clarice doesn't look that much like Jodie Foster, who played Clarice in Silence of the Lambs, as much as she looks like the actress who played her in the sequel. It's like there was a different Julianne Moore, I think. It's really weird.
Yeah.
But still, I guess that kind of works. All the other characters are approximations, I guess. Like, I mean, I don't know. It's using Hannibal as an example. They didn't really try to or like the TV show as an example. They didn't really try to like cast characters who looked like.
Yeah, no, it was trying to be its own like original retelling of the story.
So yeah, I guess they're kind of doing that thing with this one. And to be honest, I did not recognize their names from like anything else. So I don't know if
the actors. So
yeah, like I don't know if these are a bunch of newcomers or just like TV people or like really small time people that I haven't heard of before. But I don't know. I think they could have done worse, but at the same time, it's like they didn't really have a big name in there, like a big recognizable name.
No,
unfortunately. So I kind of want to get into like be a little bit more general. So I'm going to get into some pros and cons / red flags. All right. So really, the only pro I can say about the show is that it's set in the 90s, yet it doesn't feel the need to constantly remind you that it's set in the 90s.
It's not nostalgia baiting you at all.
Yeah, which is good. Unlike Captain Marvel or whatever.
Yeah.
No dial-up jokes.
Things. Yeah.
No dial-up jokes. No Blockbuster video jokes. At least not yet. They didn't do it in the premiere. And I don't think I saw any beige-colored telephones. Might have been one or two computers. But so yeah, that's really the only thing good I can say about it. As far as cons go, I already mentioned like a corporate conspiracy is the overall driving plot. I really don't know what they're trying to do with that. I mean, it's kind of unique for the Hannibal series or whatever you want to call it. But it just kind of feels out of place.
It just feels a little cheesy and like a very grounded franchise. Like grounded in reality, like it just seems a little far-fetched.
Oh no, like I wouldn't say like compared to what they usually do, it just seems out of place. But yeah. And then another thing is that a lot of the side characters are kind of boring. There's this one agent friend of hers from the academy that returns. I don't know if her name's ever said because I honestly forget it, both from the show and from the movie. And I've seen the movie multiple times. I still don't know this lady's name. I like flash an image of her up on the screen when we edit this. But yeah, I have no idea what her name is. I probably would have known it if I read the book. But yeah, and they like really don't add too much. And then that makes me move on to Clarice. And unfortunately, I think it was a really terrible idea to base a series around her. Because just like going off of what I know from Silence of the Lambs, like she is just not that interesting of a character.
Okay.
So you watch the premiere of Hannibal, like the first episode of that. I doubt as many people were familiar with Red Dragon as they are with Silence of the Lambs, but you watch the first you just watch the first like 10 minutes from the premiere of Hannibal, and already you can tell that the character of Will Graham is infinitely more interesting than Clarice, especially like with their interpretation, at least in Hannibal, because he's this guy that's like got Asperger's. He's got like a high functioning form of autism, pretty much, and he can recreate like murders in his mind. Pretty much, like
Clarice is just a regular chick, you know?
Yeah, she's. I mean, I guess the thing that does kind of like set her apart, at least at the time, was that she was like a woman in a what I would assume is like a boys' club, like in the FBI. That's like one of the things that kind of stands out, even in the film Silence of the Lambs. It's like, well, I mean, not only is she a woman, but she's also like half the height of everybody else in that film. There's this one scene at the beginning where she's like getting called into like Jack Crawford, the head of the behavioral science. She's like in an elevator, and like everybody else in that elevator is a man and like twice her height.
Yeah,
it's funny, but yeah, but it's like that's what makes her unique. But I don't think that's enough to like base a series on
to drive an entire show on. Yeah,
and I know they're gonna try to like pull the like the PTSD thing and try to do something with that, but
yeah, it's just not. This isn't going to end up being a show that's going to be worth watching, especially when there's already a good Hannibal spin-off show.
Yeah,
it's like Hannibal is the spin-off show.
From what I've seen in the premiere, I don't think they can pull it off. They're not going to pull off the same angle, because Will Graham, that like a price of his like gift of being able to, you know, recreate murders is that it makes him kind of unstable. Yeah, and that they worked with that pretty well in that series. Like, I don't want to give any spoilers away because I think that is much more worth watching than this. But yeah. So let's see.
Hannibal Lecter, are we ready to talk about him yet?
Oh yeah. You know how I mentioned I was gonna like bring up a couple red flags?
Yeah.
There is one that should have been visible from orbit.
Oh, is it that Hannibal's not in the show?
Oh, okay. So yeah, like it's like as I mentioned before, it's like, you know, since it's like in the context of the story. So 1 year after Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal Lecter's on the loose again, and he doesn't get brought back into like the scene until the sequel Hannibal, the film book sequel Hannibal, not the TV series, which takes place like 9 or 10 years later. So I knew he wasn't going to appear in the story at all, but it gets much worse than that. So it turns out that they do not have the rights to his character. So they cannot mention him by name or at all. I think it gets worse. Like, they can't even mention him at all. They kind of hint at him a bit in the beginning.
oh my gosh. Like, they got the rights to the Silence of the Lambs, but they didn't get the rights to like the franchise's like main icon character.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. That's the funniest. That's holy cow.
Yeah, like I said, this should have been a red flag visible from orbit.
Yeah,
it is messed up. But another thing too, I don't think they have rights to any other of like the Hannibal Lecter characters, because I think they're owned by whoever did the last like the other Hannibal TV series, because Jack Crawford, the behavioral sciences guy, he appears in that, played by Lawrence Fishburne. But he's also like a big part of Silence of the Lambs, but I don't think they can bring him back because of that. because they might not have
Yeah.
the rights to him either. So they had to pull like the B list characters like Paul Krenler, who I didn't even know was like a guy. I mean, I kind of did, but like he only appears in the film for like all of 5 minutes.
Wow.
But
That's
yeah, no Hannibal Lecter. Can't even mention him by name. Can't have flashbacks to him. And
that's so weird. That's so. If you didn't have the rights to Hannibal, why would you try making it a freaking Silence of the Lambs show? That's such a weird choice.
yeah. Then, like, going back to, like, Clarice not being that interesting of a character, the thing that did make her interesting was her dynamic between, the dynamic between her and Hannibal. It's like those scenes really drove the movie. And
yeah, that's
like,
what the movie's about. It was about Hannibal Lecter and Clarice working together, and Hannibal kind of, like, taking advantage of her and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's coming from the dude that hasn't even seen the movie. That's coming from the guy who thought it was based on a true story until like 3 years ago.
Yeah. But no, like they can't even call back to that.
Yeah, just so weird.
I guess while we're on the topic of red flags, so I don't know if this is nitpicky or not, but so if you look, so one of the creators of the show is a guy by the name of Alex Kurtzman, and he is responsible for a lot of, pretty much all the current Star Trek TV series.
Which makes sense, because aren't all of those on CBS as well? Like,
yes, yep. Picard, Discovery.
Is Star Trek really that popular? Like, I feel bad saying something like Star Trek isn't that popular, but I feel like every time I look, there's like another Star Trek show. There's like Picard, and there's like Discovery, and there's the cartoons, and there's like, what is it? Aren't they making one about like Captain Kirk's dad or something like that? Or maybe that's what Discovery is. I feel like there's a million Star Trek shows now.
Yeah, I really don't know. So the thing is, like, I'm not the biggest fan of Star Trek. Like I've dabbled with Next Generation, Deep Space Nine. But the people who I like, watch on YouTube or whatnot that are into Star Trek, they absolutely hate the newer stuff.
Yeah.
Like I have not heard a single good thing from any of them about it.
I've heard mixed things about Discovery, and then I haven't heard anything good about Picard or the cartoon show or any of the other ones.
Don't even get me started on the cartoon. I saw I saw the trailer to that a couple times because of freaking YouTube ads, and I wanted to kill myself. It's like, that is the most generic Family Guy, Rick and Morty looking bullshit I have ever seen. Kill me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so yeah, like the guy doesn't have that good of like he was also involved with that Mummy movie.
Yeah, I was just looking at him on IMDb. He was one of the producers of The Mummy.
Yep. As well as a couple of the Transformers films.
Oh boy, isn't that a holy trinity?
Yeah, like
Oh, The Amazing Spider-Man
2.
Yeah.
Isn't it only the sequel one or the sequel?
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah, he's got a lot of like absolute poopers in his filmography.
Oh, cowboys and aliens. Oh, jeez. Holy cow.
So I don't know. Does that seem like a nitpick to you? Just going through this guy's filmography and seeing all this stuff. That's
no,
just like...
I don't think that's a nitpick.
So yeah, it's like I don't know what to say about like other members of like the production team, but knowing this guy's involved, it doesn't seem like it bodes well for the series. Especially since he's a creator, a writer, and I think he's either a producer or an executive producer.
Mm-hmm.
Which, granted, I mean, I don't have a problem with him like doing multiple things, but just that like he's so involved with it, that might not be the best.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see what else. Okay, so another comparison to Hannibal. So just watching the premiere of this, like I know this show is gonna be like overly safe.
When you say overly safe, you mean like
in terms of like shock value.
oh, okay, it's
So
not gonna be.
so it is run on air, or like it is aired on TV along with being on streaming services. But Hannibal, like the TV series, also aired on TV, and I honestly doubt that Clarice is going to have the balls to try to get away with what they did with Hannibal. Like
Yeah.
some of the gore that that they got away with in that show, like honestly rivaled a lot of R-rated films that I've seen.
Yeah.
It's like crazy. And I think what helped them a lot was that it was mostly just like bodies being found, and it wasn't necessarily the act being performed. But still, it's like they managed to keep a TV-14 rating on NBC. It was at like 9:00 at night, and with a viewer discretion advised, scary voice, but still, yeah, I don't think Clarice is going to even try to come close to that.
Yeah.
It's just kind of it's kind of I don't know.
It's just a forgettable thing that exists. It's just somebody made this. Somebody took a camera and filmed a bunch of cliches, and then said it was part of a much more successful film and television universe, and left it at that.
Yeah.
And I feel bad bagging on a show that is this early in production, but like. Sometimes you don't have to watch a whole show to know whether or not it's going to be good,
Yeah, I mean, the first season of Hannibal is, like, I think for the first couple episodes, it had a bit of a rough start. Let's just say that.
I mean, most shows have a bit of a rough start at the first season.
Yeah. But this is just like, I don't know where they're... I don't know how like anyone thought it was a good idea to make this, or like where they're gonna go with it, or what. Unless they can somehow get the rights back to, like, I don't even know if bringing Hannibal Lecter back into it's gonna save it either. Without retconning like any of the film sequels or like the book sequels.
Yeah.
And even if they did manage to get the rights. So yeah, it's like my hopes aren't high for this. Let's just end this here.
Yeah, I just said this.
My hopes aren't high for this series. I still got like a month left of CBS All Access. So maybe I'll look into the other episodes, and then I want to try to give it a bit of a fair shake, but that means I also gotta like sit my butt down and actually try to watch it again. Or maybe if I feel particularly strongly about killing myself, I'll watch a couple episodes of Lower Decks.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I don't want or new SpongeBob.
Nah, that stuff looks pretty bad as well.
Yeah.
Why do companies got to make all these cartoon characters look so like HD and stuff? Like freaking. Have you seen like the leaked images for the new Space Jam movie, where like Bugs Bunny has like all this CGI fur and stuff on him? Like, he's a cartoon character. Like, just leave him as a cartoon character. No kid is gonna get bored at a theater if Bugs Bunny doesn't have a bunch of CGI hair on him. Like, it's just why.
So he's still 2D, like hand drawn, but they added CGI.
No, he's like 3D.
Him.
He's like 3D with like RTX fur and lighting on him.
What the shit?
Yeah, exactly. Did they not watch the original, like, or just know what Looney Tunes is? Like,
oh my gosh. It makes me wonder what they did for that Tom and Jerry movie that came out like this past week, because that kind of looked hand drawn, but I could see a way they could have like done it with 3D.
Even that looks better than like freaking RTX SpongeBob. I'm just calling him RTX because like these super HD, like, because they just came up with that. I don't know if it's a TV show or a movie, but it's SpongeBob at Camp SpongeBob or whatever it's called, where it's all like CGI and stuff. Like, cut it out.
Yeah, the prequel that the creator never wanted to happen. Never.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, like, I don't know if you brought it up, but like, yeah, the only reason they existed is that show exists is because the creator of SpongeBob passed away, and then Nickelodeon just said like, oh, let's actually like do stuff with the show that he never wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And a prequel was one of them. One of the things he didn't want to do, or like showing them.
It's gonna be interesting when was it Bill Watterson dies and some corporation snags up Calvin and Hobbes and makes a Calvin and Hobbes movie or something.
I wonder how you would stop that, because like there could be something he could do with his will. You'd think.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. That guy is something else. All right.
He's a champion.
So, yep. Yeah. I'll say. So yep, we're gonna end this here. Oh my gosh, it's over half an hour.
Yeah. I don't know if you have any other shows that you want to talk about. If you've watched Clarice, if there's anything you think Clarice should have done better, just let us know. We like seeing the comments.
Yeah, like
if there's anything you want us to do, if there's any TV shows we should check out, let us know.
Yep. And then let us know if you've also watched Hannibal. You've been able to compare the two. What you think? Yeah. I doubt anyone in our audience has seen.
Yeah.
Or has watched Clarice, let alone Hannibal, but you never know. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, till next time, I'm Robbie. And Connor is also with us.
Sometimes.
This is an awkward ending. All right. We will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.